Ah, football games. Sometimes I love them, but most times they really make you feel like Thanos was the hero in Infinity War. After playing EA's FIFA games to get into football and also being a fan of Sifu, I thought it was only fair to give Rematch a try when it came out because it's from the same devs. I've been playing it for about 16 to 17 hours or so, and the experience has been quite interesting to say the least. I wanted to give my quick thoughts on how it stacks up as a football video game after playing a few others. Now, if you've never played and you're curious about the mechanics, the best comparison I can make, and it's essentially what everyone says already, is that it basically plays like Rocket League, but with feet, which is already confusing because Rocket League's supposed to be football with cars, but anyways, we work with the metaphor. You play as one player among a team of 3, 4, or 5 others, and you need to be able to work together with your teammates to score goals. Simple, kind of like football, but different, I guess. It's definitely a smaller experience, and I think it's one of its greatest strengths, which I'll get into in a minute. The game starts with a prologue that guides you through the basic controls of the game. How to shoot, how to dribble and pass, defending and goalkeeping. What you'll definitely find out is that the controls have a bit of a learning curve. Manipulating your camera, judging distance for receiving and passing, and learning how to dribble and juggle the ball require quite a bit of dexterity and hand-eye coordination, even more so than other sports games in my opinion, and it can get very tempting to play the hero. But, and this goes for every single player of this game, you're not the second coming of Messi, and Blue Lock is not a football documentary. So remember that all controls exist for a reason. That said, even after playing matches for a while, it can still feel a little bit clunky. It's likely a preference and skill thing, as the way I describe it is that there is a little bit of friction between intended actions and controls, especially for scenarios that require quick thinking. Now, generally the way that I've developed my game around this is that I've mostly been a passer and defender, doing taps and no-look passes with the mini-map as a guide, and that's worked out well for me. But I think without the ability to remap keys, playing a striker for me just doesn't feel very comfortable, but maybe they'll improve that down the line, and your mileage will definitely vary. The prologue also hints at a larger narrative and world with this game, but whatever that narrative is probably revealed later. But there's definitely something really interesting about a futuristic world where you can replace limbs with robot parts. I've got so many questions. How do you tackle someone with robot legs without breaking your own shins in the process? What's the society like? Are these matches all in good fun, or are they gladiator matches with players getting held against their will for the sick entertainment of the ruling class? Anyways, we don't know anything concrete yet, and we may never will, as after the prologue, you immediately start playing matches in one of 2 game modes. You'll probably start out in quick matches first, so you can develop your skills and get a feel of the controls. You can also do a solo queue if you prefer to play alone and team up with strangers, or you can also do up to a full 5 stack with your friends, which definitely makes it a lot more fun and coordinated. But I do have a few problems with this setup, which I'll touch in a bit. Now, what about the matches themselves? Sure, the premise is that you'll be kicking a ball to the net, but how that's done is very different and can honestly be a little chaotic. Matches are very simple, they're fast-paced, they're aggressive, encouraging a lot of quick passes and long-distance lobs to get behind the defense. Also, rather than being able to kick the ball out of bounds, the arena you play in has these invisible walls that allow you to rebound the ball off of them, kinda like Rocket League. This mechanic's an important and really fun one to learn, as it helps you make insane passes and crosses that will help outsmart an opposing team and goalkeeper. There's also no fouling here, so you're able to keep tackling an opponent until you get the ball. And I honestly like the feel and sound of impact in this game when you do tackles or kicks, because they do have a very similar feel to hits in Sifu. I don't know if I'm the only one who feels this, but yeah, it's just a neat touch that I noticed. You also have a stamina bar that you'll need to manage, so you can't just go zipping around the pitch and doing tackles carelessly, or you'll risk getting outmaneuvered by your opponents. Now sure, this might seem like good reflexes and aggression is the meta for this, but actually taking your time and going back to football basics on spacing, utilizing the keeper, protecting the middle, and so on become much more important ways to take advantage of your opponent's mistakes. Another cool mechanic that I love is that you and your teammates rotate positions every time a goal is made by either team. I really like this because this means that nobody will really be the striker the whole game, as at one point you can get rotated into the goalkeeper position. It helps build a well-rounded skill set and really tests how well your team can adapt to playing different positions. Of course, you still got assholes who outright refuse to play keeper, but that's not really on the game. I can empathize though. It's a very high pressure role because it does mean you'll be the last line of defense for your team, and it is usually the target for a lot of sarcastic remarks and praise from other teammates. But that's part of the skill set you're building. And if you're actively avoiding it, even ditching the net in the middle of a match, like some of the other teammates I've had, I'll let you know right now, and I'll put this really gently, you're being a But there is a move that won't make you an asshole, and that is to go into the description and to click on the links for Stop Killing Games, especially if you're from the UK or the EU. I'm sure if you're playing a lot of video games and you've been kind of monitoring the gaming scene on YouTube, that you've already seen what this initiative is about. But for those who aren't aware, Stop Killing Games is an initiative created by Ross Scott over at a channel called Accursed Farms. And what he's trying to push for is for companies to have an end-of-life plan for games, aka to not be able to just take away your access to a game that you've already paid for. This benefits so many aspects of gaming, such as being able to preserve some very old games that you can no longer play, and it's also meant to mitigate against those types of games wherein, because they're all based off of a server, once that server shuts down, you can no longer play a game. Now, I'm definitely paraphrasing and summarizing a little bit too much, but if you want more details on the initiative, you want to learn more about it, I'll be linking a few other channels who can cover it in a bit more detail in the description as well. You can also check out the petition itself and read through it if you're a bit more curious about the actual details. But again, I encourage anybody in the EU, in the UK to sign these. We've already met the threshold, but we can always do with more protection as some of these signatures may not be considered valid. Anyways, thank you again. Just a quick aside, back to the video. With a lot of practice and patience, games can become really thrilling and fun. That said, there are a lot of things wrong with this game, and it's hard to completely recommend purchasing it in its current state. First off, the chaos of your first few matches can be really fun, but sooner or later you'd actually want to be more tactical with your approach, which means you and your teammates need to be in sync. But communication features are very limited in this game. Sure, you can just enable your mic, but everyone else can just mute and you have no idea whether they're listening to you. And voice chat has never really been a pleasant experience online. In my case, the teammates I've had who yap the most through their mics in matches tend to also be the most toxic or distracting. So in place of that, it would be good to just have more strategic calls. Currently, you have the ability to thank people, to apologize, to praise, etc. But I feel like having the ability to say, watch out, defense, or slow down are 100 times more helpful for matches, especially since a lot of people just spam good job sarcastically when mistakes are made. Also, for a finished full-price game, the features feel lackluster and almost like a mobile or free-to-play game, to be honest. We got the licensed cosmetics, we got the customization and so on, we got in-game currency in place, but things like leveling up are effectively meaningless. Arenas, although they change environments, are just the same after a while. And with only 2 modes to play, everything just feels bare bones. I really wish they at least have offline components because sometimes I just want to practice with bots or AI. Bugs are also just all over the place. We've got the weird visual one where I got the banner that says get your first win of the day constantly on my screen regardless of how long I've been playing. There are some cases where even when I cancel matchmaking to do free play, I still get pulled into a match. And then there are worse offenders which happen during matches. The ball either phases through or gets stuck. The desync and lag sometimes make it look like opponents are teleporting or force pulling the ball from a few meters. There's this hilarious glitch I experienced where the ball got stuck in the middle and like 5 people were repeatedly diving and wondering why the ball wasn't going anywhere. But aside from that one funny instance, it's mostly very frustrating. They've also been having server issues where disconnects happen super frequently, and it's very annoying, especially during rank where players don't get replaced. I've been seeing so many comments of people saying, it's a AA game, it's a small studio, it'll get better in time. Bruh, this year has been filled with so many indie and AA studios absolutely killing it. Also, they had a really good game before with Sifu, so it's not really fair to use that as an excuse for a lackluster launch. Now, speaking of ranked, it's also really broken. I didn't realize this until other players pointed it out, but your matches are with people of mixed ranks, which is kind of dumb. But also, they're allowing 5 stacks to participate in ranked matches, which I think is incredibly dumb. Now, forgive my impassioned language, but I really don't think that in any universe is that fair or fun, especially for solo players, and should not be a concept even in other multiplayer games that I know also implement a similar concept. I'd rather they create a separate game mode or feature in ranked, or maybe even tournaments where you'll be able to compete as a team, and then have regular ranked be solo or at max duo queue. I feel like it would be more fun to have a mini tournament even where you can get randomly assigned to other people in the first match, and then you progress with those same people, allowing you guys to develop a bit of chemistry, maybe chat in between matches to discuss tactics, and then you can even become friends afterwards. That sounds like a really fun way to do this. There's so many things I'd like to say, but overall, this game has a great concept and great gameplay when it works. I like the short, aggressive matches that I can just play from time to time if I want a quick break from work, for example, and many of them have been really thrilling when both teams are sort of similar in skill level, but it's just really half-baked, which is why I said I don't recommend buying it. Instead, if you have Game Pass, I'd recommend playing it there without too much risk. If you enjoy it enough, then go ahead, buy the game. What matters is you're having fun. I'll probably keep playing on and off, but I don't see myself really playing this long term without a few of the improvements I've stated. And I'm probably not alone, as the number of players have been slowly dropping since launch, so the devs may need to act a little faster. But that's it from me. Let me know what you think of the game. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Don't let me hamper the fun that you're having, because these are just my own thoughts. If you're having fun, that's great, but let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you like what you see. This is Sai from Fireplace Gaming, and I hope you're having a great day. I'll catch you later.